15 to 14, and then Method Orange obviously won a couple of series, so that's more in their favor now, but it's still a really crazy game coming up after this.
And now we're going to find out who is going to be able to fight against those two top teams. You can vote. Is it going to be Neat, or is it going to be the Super Frogs? Neat controls the destiny of North America.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the prettiest chicken of them all? Chanimals versus Tiber, Nick versus Wealthy Man. All to play for in this mirror match. Super Frogs looking to secure once and for all that BlizzCon spot with a victory here. Neat playing upset. Nick, we've talked about him time and time again. He's got the better of Wealthy Man in this exchange, but Earthen Wall Totem, Korlik says no. Cubsy actually holding on to his there, and Nick is the one who's taking the worst of this exchange.
Yeah, Nick caught into the full kidney shot. Root beam over onto Korlik. This is good setup from Super Frogs. Nick has to run away. Uses the Cloak of Shadows, gets over on the channel, stopping any sort of re-crowd control over onto Korlik when he can. And now it's time for Neat to get aggressive with a full root beam on Cubsy. Chanimals gets cycloned, opting to sit that, has his trinket available. Wealthy Man with a well-timed feint will ultimately survive.
Actually, Cubsy playing the Dark Iron Dwarf here, using it to break the root beam, but then got caught up in the blind. Unfortunately, though, the blind then broke on Cubsy. That's a huge fall there for Neat. They had a great setup. Meanwhile, Nick taking damage. Trinkets forced on Korlik and Nick as well. This is not looking good for Neat at this point, as another low cyclone comes in from Chanimals. So far, so good for Super Frogs.
Yeah, Chanimals has beautiful control in this game. Nick in a lot of trouble. Cheap shot on Korlik. Nick running away. He's been very slippery in this tournament so far, doing a good job kiting away when he needs to. He's been a very tough rogue to take down, but Super Frogs have immense pressure in this matchup so far.
Yeah, they've been looking great, and one of the things I want to touch on as we see Tiber getting caught up into the kidney, wherever I want to divulge a little bit, we just see pressure coming out. That's something you'll always see from these assassination rogues. Every single kidney shot can be scary. Earthen Wall Totem comes down preemptively here by Cubsy, I do believe. Nope, that was actually coming in from Korlik there, so trying to keep Nick alive, has to trade out his evasion as well, but still getting pumped here by Chanimals. Kidney shot, this could be game, and Super Frogs will take game one.
Now, the main thing that we need to talk about. Also, guys, we're back to those best of fives. The best of seven only going to be taking effect when we do
under the rug in this matchup, in this mirror match. We'll have to see a very high pressure game once again. One of the critical moments in that last game is when Neat broke that blind on Cubsy. They need to not do that. Like, every single setup you do with the root beam, with the blind, very important to get out defensive. If you mess one of those up, you can go so far behind very quickly.
Yeah, no, blind definitely one of the most important and best offensive cooldowns that the rogue has. Even though it doesn't directly deal damage, it's just an instantaneous way of putting someone into 8 seconds of crowd control. Beautiful cycling coming in from Chanimals here. This was the setup coming in from Wealthy Man. Cubsy also with the outplay preemptively puts the Earthen Wall Totem down, enabling him to sit through that root solar beam on the other side of the map. So big plays coming out from Super Frogs early in this game.
Wealthy Man, Shadow Step kidney shot over on Nick. You're going to constantly see that from these rogues. They want to get to the rogues back so they can get that kidney shot without it being dodged or parried or anything like that. With evasion up, very important move from them. Wealthy Man looking like he wants to try to land a blind onto Korlik, but Korlik just line of sighting a lot here, really denying that incoming CC. And actually, I'm pretty sure that
someone
Wealthy Man
blinded Tiber.
Yeah, he just blinded Tiber. That was a huge mistake.
Yeah, we saw a couple of mistakes there coming from Super Frogs. The mispress on the blind. Chanimals actually fat fingered his bark skin there as well, so they might swap it over to him a little bit. Couple of mistakes coming in from Super Frogs, unlike something we didn't see from them in game one. Meanwhile, though, Tiber caught up in the stun here, doesn't have his trinket or his bark skin. They commit the smoke bomb late. Korlik should be able to get into that if needed, but Tiber quite tanky. They might force a Spirit Link here. Renewal comes out, lots of damage, Ascended heals from Korlik. Close call as Neat survive.
Yeah, if they just had cleaned up that blind play, Super Frogs could have easily just won the game right there. Wealthy Man now into the kidney shot, into the full cyclone. Tiber looking to control him up just a little bit. If you look at Shaman's mana, relatively even at this point in the game. Both Shamans have their trinket. Earthen Shield Totem's going to be dropped out by Cubsy, so if Neat can just delay their go a little bit, then they can have an opportunity here where they don't have that tanky totem, but it looks like Super Frogs, they're going to be pulling the trigger first.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to get something going, but Korlik not really crowd controlled. Now the root beam comes out, but it's a little bit late. Nick's just going to trade out his Cloak of Shadows. Tiber taking a bit of damage, bark skin from him. Kidney shot, crowd control coming out from Neat. They're looking to get offensive here, force the bark skin from Chanimals, dropping low, renewal available, traded out. Blind also onto Cubsy. They're going to force a lot of cooldowns here, Neat, setting up for a potential offense here momentarily, Van.
Yeah, Cubsy trinkets out of the blind. It's a very fair trade. Korlik still has his available. As Wealthy Man, wasn't able to get that out early on. Now Wealthy Man into the kidney shot. He doesn't really have trinkets. He doesn't have anything left in this situation. Feint gets used, but a nice cyclone by Tiber. If they can push in and get crowd control on Cubsy, they could close out this game. Nick looking like he just wants to get a little bit of damage over onto Chanimals. Wealthy Man, the main target of choice. That was a nice Cyclone from Tiber, but now Nick caught into the kidney shot. Still has his trinket, still has evasion, feeling very safe with that Earthen Shield Totem.
Yeah, Neat have definitely been tidying up their gameplay just a little bit in Game 2. They're looking much more in their element, and that's what we expect, right? When you see this composition from Neat, this is what they're known for. This is what they want to be playing. So for Super Frogs to come in, play some of those alt classes, but more importantly, play a composition they're not synergized on, it's very impressive for them to go toe-to-toe, but Neat's starting to have the advantage here. Cubsy gets root beamed, uses his dwarf ratio to get out of that one. Wealthy Man should be able to survive here. Doesn't look like there's any follow-up crowd control. Good cyclones coming from Chanimals to peel.
Yeah, Nick's still in a lot of trouble though. Evasion's up, uses a Vendetta over on a Wealthy Man. Wealthy Man's feeling very tanky with that Earthen Shield Totem. Corlick doesn't have the same luxury at this point in the game. Both rogues in a lot of trouble potentially. Corlick no trinket for another minute and a half. Nick trinkets out as well. So this next setup coming in from Super Frogs, if they can get a root beam on Corlick and a kidney shot on Nick, that's the end of the game.
Yeah, it really could be. Both of these teams in a lot of trouble. Nick's definitely the one taking the brunt of it right now though. So we see cheap shot, low cyclone. Can they trade it over to Corlick? Next crowd control on him could easily spell the end of the match for Neat at this point. Meanwhile, Cubsy looking healthy, has his trinket, has his spirit link. He has the out. Nick now caught up in the kidney shot. Do they have any crowd control for Corlick? That's what they're looking for. Doesn't look like it though. Another low cyclone. They need to find something as the Earthenwall Totem comes out. Should stabilize Nick here.
Yeah, maybe they're just waiting to bait out that totem as they know they really can't get a kill from it. It was kind of an obvious setup. You commit the kidney shot, Earthen Shield Totem, very, very safe. Wealthy Man now caught in the kidney shot, root beam onto Cubsy. He has a trinket. Wealthy Man has a trinket, but it's way too late. Evasion used as well. Cubsy has to trade out his trinket now into the full cyclone. Wealthy Man still in a lot of trouble. They're trying to turn around the pressure onto Nick. Corlick gets caught into the root beam. Now a cyclone on Nick out of the kidney shot. Super Frogs just trying to basically survive in this moment. So much pressure on the side of Neat.
Yeah, that might have actually been a bit of a throwaway there. Cubsy used his trinket on the root beam. He used his Earthenwall Totem. Now the blind is the kill for Neat if they can set that up. Full blind over onto Cubsy. Kidney shot onto Wealthy Man is what they're going for. Just need something onto Chanimals to deny those cyclones. Watch for it here. Nick in the cyclone. He gets bombed. They're going for the kill. They have the Spirit Link available. Corlick might need to connect that. Looks like he's trying to just hold on to it at this moment in time, getting some heals out. Now it's Nick's turn to get offensive. Nick needs to make the play. Look at him. He's approaching Cubsy. Gets rooted. Cubsy knows what's coming. He's doing everything he can to survive until that Earthenwall Totem about 15 seconds from now. Nick can't connect. He gets the blind step. Kidney shot over onto Wealthy Man, but it breaks on Cubsy. I'm not sure what happened there, but the blind breaks, and that's going to be, well, it's horrible for Neat.
That's a disaster. Wealthy Man turning his attention onto Tiber. Root beam on Corlick. Tiber's in a lot of trouble. Chanimals dealing out some damage. Nick trying to keep his team alive with the cheap shot onto Chanimals. Wealthy Man still getting low. There's a full blind onto Cubsy. This could be very scary for Wealthy Man, activating that Cloak of Shadows to prevent some of that damage. But in the meantime, Tiber just forced him to bear form. Finally, a kidney shot on Wealthy Man. Root beam over onto Cubsy. Neat looking for the game-winning setup here. Chanimals, how are you going to keep your team alive? Gets a cyclone over onto Corlick. Nick, in the meantime, having to run away. Caught into the cheap shot. Tiber routing down low as well. Super Frogs looking to win game number 2. And they do. Kind of a little bit messy there at the beginning of the game, but tidied up near the end. Looked good.
I want that one Azerite trait. And now when we look at mages, it's so important to think of their Azerite traits. But now Super Frogs are just one game away here on Ruins of Lordaeron from being able to clinch their BlizzCon spot. And this could be the final fitting resting place for Neat.
It really could, and more importantly, this could be the game that sees Super Frogs to BlizzCon, that 100% guarantee. And I mean, if they did win this one, then I think we would both agree that they've beaten one of the best teams in this tournament in a mirror matchup of their main composition. They would definitely deserve it.
Oh, there's no question about it. Super Frogs is an insane team. They've proven that many times in the past. Chanimals, a legend, BlizzCon champion. Now Cubsy caught into the full blind to turn our attention over to the game. Wealthy Man has no trinket. He had to use a Cloak of Shadows. This is actually a little bit dangerous here. Doesn't want to trade out the evasion too late. In the meantime, though, Nick under a lot of pressure. Full root beam on Corlick. Nick no trinket. Evasion. Both rogues basically have no defensive cooldowns left. Nick still has his Vendetta and Smoke Bomb. Wealthy Man wanted to get that rolling onto Nick. The next time Nick gets caught into a kidney shot, if they have any CC for Corlick, it could just be lights out. Yeah,
both these teams went for very similar opens. Both committed the blinds to the healers and then the root beams. The difference was Cubsy actually was able to dwarf out of the root beam and then sit the blind, so he has his trinket now available. before. Corlic had to trinket blind and sit the root beam because he's not playing that dwarf ratio. So now Need obviously have that disadvantage. There's no trinket on the Shaman, no trinket on the Rogue. Clean setup from Super Frogs could easily secure the game here. They need to be pushing up for it though. Chanimal's currently out of position to land that root beam. They might just wait, to be honest. The next root beam should be up in about 10 seconds here, and if they can land it with the kidney, it could easily be the game.
Yeah, Wealthy Man should be able to survive this kidney shot. Cubsy has to trinket out. Wealthy Man just gets smoked, deleted in the smoke bomb, and Neat strike back. They're not going to make it that easy for Super Frogs.
Truly smoked.
They managed to find that opening, and they're going to take down the Super Frogs here. And now we got a little bit of a series on our hand and be wargaming against. You need to be hitting up those other teams saying, hey, are you free? We need practice against Moonkin Rogue if you want to get the practice. And now Super Frogs going to be doing it against Neat, a team that made it all the way here with this composition. Will Super Frogs be able to get to BlizzCon in a mirror?
Yeah, it's just going to be about getting the CC onto the enemy healer with a nice kidney shot onto the enemy rogue. Cheap shot into root beam onto Corlic. Where are they finding the pressure? Tiber already down to 50% HP, gets interrupted there on his Cyclone. Now Nick into the kidney shot. Looks like Super Frogs, they wanted to split pressure here, have damage on both of these targets. Tiber rotting down, actually commits the bark skin. Doesn't want to be taking too much damage. That might have been a little bit of a waste, and that could be an opening for Super Frogs later on.
It could be slightly overzealous, but I think more and more as this mirror's gone on, it's been about killing the rogues. So that's something that maybe Tiber's kind of calculating. It's like, hey, I mean, maybe I can afford to do this. He's popped his Incarnation though, which I think is a bigger thing. The Incarnation, the big offensive cooldown for the Moonkin, and Super Frogs practically just avoided it. Wealthy Man taking a little bit of damage here. Good Cyclone over onto Nick though is going to deny anything else, and that Incarnation cooldown forced practically nothing.
Yeah, Tiber getting low though. This is what I said. They could capitalize on this. In ECC on Corlic, Tiber could go down, but it looks like the full kidney shot can be committed over on Nick. Tiber with a beautiful Cyclone onto Wealthy Man. Wealthy Man not able to capitalize on that whatsoever, and just look for Chanimals, look for Tiber, throwing out these Cyclones that really just extend the game, keep their team alive.
One of the things I'd really like to see from both these Restoration Shamans is very similar to what we say about mages when they play against Moonkins. You need to save the counter spell to deny the Cyclones on these setups. The Shamans can kind of act as that counter spell. They have the Wind Shade, they have the Grounding Totem. They should be trying to save those for the offensive pushes. We see a blind over onto Corlic, root beam on the Trinket. They're looking for the kill on Nick.
Yeah, Nick's going to be running away. He trinkets, he vanishes. Being invisible makes it very difficult for the enemy team to take you down. But he comes out, opens with a Garrote on both Wealthy Man and Chanimals, and now he's caught in the full Cyclone. Corlic, he has no trinket. Next root beam coming up in around, I believe, a minute for Chanimals, a little less than a minute. Now Wealthy Man caught in the kidney shot. Nice Earthen Wall Totem going to be dropped out by Cubs. We've talked time and time again how powerful that cooldown is. And while that's down, while Wealthy Man's standing inside of it, it's going to be so difficult for Need to take him down.
Yeah, it's so powerful, in fact, that you'll often see Restoration Shamans prefer to use that rather than the Spirit Link when they come out of crowd control, unless it's really, really needed. And of course, that's beneficial to them also, since it's only on that 1 minute cooldown. Earthen Wall, definitely one of the answers that you'll look these Shamans. It's basically, they use it in a similar way to Druids use Ironbark, trying to preempt crowd control with it. If they do successfully do that, you can almost guarantee their team will be alive. See both the rogues just going at it. Moonkin chicken forms, pointing tons of damage at both sides. Wealthy Man now caught up in the kidney shot. They're going back and forth with these, but it's Neat that don't have the trinkets here. After this Cyclone, they'll look for the kill on Nick. Kidney shot connects. They might go for it here, Van.
It could be a smoke bomb as well. Nick caught into the kidney shot. It's big trouble. Wealthy Man getting soloed down by Tiber in this exchange. Nick trinket, or he uses the evasion and the Cloak of Shadows, trades those cooldowns out, but a full Hex gets used, gets dispelled by Tiber. Luckily, I think that's a Wealthy Man dropped the smoke bomb. That was
maybe he was a bit scared there. It looked like a defensive bomb almost, but I'm pretty sure Nick was on the stun DR, so not going to achieve anything with that. Now kidney shot over onto Wealthy Man. Not too much damage though. Preemptive Cloak of Shadows comes out, but now it's over. Evasion. The Moonkid still dealing damage. Tiber caught up into a Cyclone though. Should keep him alive. Spirit Link comes out in the nick of time.
Yeah, Cubsy's throwing that across the map to keep his team up there to allow Wealthy Man to survive. Nick gets caught into the Cyclone. He has no trinket, so the next kidney shot could be a little bit scary as well. Tiber gets interrupted on the Cyclone. Wealthy Man just trying to keep pressure. Both teams basically just trying to keep pressure on both targets, so it becomes difficult for the Shaman to know who he keeps Earth Shield on. Cubsy caught into the full blind. Doesn't have trinket, but Wealthy Man just shadow steps away to Chanimals to safety. Nick lands a sap. Cubsy has to trinket out of that. Still has the Earthen Wall Totem if he needs to drop it. Kidney shot now on Wealthy Man. Cubsy drops that totem, should keep his team alive. Cyclone over onto Chanimals. Tiber trying to get aggressive with his Incarnation. This is really Neat's time to strike, but unfortunately not able to find the damage they need.
Yeah, this is where they need to start pushing in. You see Chanimal taking up defensive positioning here. If Corlic can push in, deny those Cyclones, they just need to get the Root Beam over onto Cubsy, try to get this Kidney onto Wealthy Man. They're just killing him with damage right now. Chanimal's pointing out with those peels. Wealthy Man steps back. A little miscommunication on Super Prox here as Chanimal's popped his Incarnation as Wealthy Man wanted to retreat, so not going to get too much benefit from that offensive. They're just dealing damage though, like you said, Ven, giving Corlic something to think about. Mana bars on both Shamans are a factor as we will be approaching dampening momentarily here.
Yeah, and damage in this matchup really matters. I'd be curious to see which one of these teams is doing more overall damage. Nick Shadow steps in, gets the kidney shot over onto Wealthy Man, Root Beam onto Cubsy. He has no way out of that. Wealthy Man's all alone. Chanimal's the only one keeping him alive, spamming out the Cyclones over onto Nick. Tiber gets interrupted. Nice wind shear from Cubsy. Wealthy Man now needs to get aggressive onto Nick, but all three members of Neat have their trinkets available. Except Tiber, he just used it, but Corlic and Nick both have their trinkets, so they should have the tools they need to survive these next few setups.
Yeah, meanwhile though, Wealthy Man's trinkets also coming up. Both these teams starting to stabilize. A lot of damage coming in though, as Wealthy Man caught up in the kidney shot. Cubsy just able to heal, standing back with Chanimals. I really like the positioning that Super Froggers have adopted actually. Chanimals and Cubsy both playing very defensively, meaning that Chanimal basically, whenever they go for crowd control on him, Cubsy has the wind shear, has the grounding, able to shut that down. It's making it really difficult for Tiber. You can see Tiber, he's trying to push in and get these crowd controls, but he just can't, getting shut down so well by Cubsy. And this is an adaptation that we've seen from Super Frogs in this game, and it's been helping them a lot. They only started doing it recently, and ever since, I feel like they haven't really had to commit any defensive cooldowns.
Yep, once again, kidney shot on Nick. Earthenwall Totem gets dropped out. Now Wealthy Man gets kidney shot. Earthenwall Totem goes down. Rogue should be fine in these exchanges. Now, for the next 45 seconds, 1 minute where they don't have that key defensive, that's an opportunity for both teams to get hyper aggressive. Cubsy caught into the Root Beam, but Tiber's the one in the kidney shot. Could be in some trouble. Activates the Bark Skin to reduce some incoming damage. Cubsy now into the blind. Trinkets out of that. Corlic into CC though. Tiber getting lower and lower. Chanimals and Wealthy Man looking to close out this game. Full blind on Corlic. He trinkets out into the capstun. Nicely done by Cubsy. Into a Hex. Immediately dispelled by Tiber. Very, very important as we move forward into dampening. These shamans need to be as free as possible to get these heals out.
Now we see the smoke bomb coming down. This is a repeat of game 3. Wealthy Man in trouble. Spirit Link available, but they don't use it because of the root on Cubsy. Chanimals couldn't get there either. And now Neat with a second smoke bomb. Nick, the playmaker, ties up the series for his team.
And that really just shows
To think about, but also we need to think about the stakes as the gates open. Super Frogs, 1 game away from making it to BlizzCon. Will Neat play spoiler yet again?
They need to win this game. They absolutely need to win this game. The story, this part of the story needs to close for them. They need to be comfortable going to BlizzCon here, and Neat is standing in their way, and they're doing a great job. Already getting aggressive. Cheap shot onto Cubsy. Is there any follow-up? No. Cubsy's positioned very far away. Corlic trinkets out of the blind. Nick into the kidney shot. Corlic will keep him alive, trading out his trinket, and that was a fair exchange on that blind. But next time Chanimals goes in, he gets the Root Beam. Could be very scary for Tiber or Nick.
Yeah, it really could be. I mean, Corlic, of course, when you trade out that trinket early, I mean, it's a good trade, but it does come with the deficit as we see Root Beam coming onto Cubsy. And interestingly, Cubsy's going to choose to sit through this one because he knows if he uses the Dwarf Racial on that, he'll just get blinded immediately. That's been the game plan from Neat throughout all 4 of the previous games. Wealthy Man, though, needs to be careful.
Ooh.
Trades out the smoke bomb there from Nick, but he's just able to walk out of that one, unfortunately. So that win condition is gone, but it was a very close call for Super Frogs.
It was a nice vanish coming in from Wealthy Man to escape that situation. Nick could be in some trouble now. He doesn't have anything left. He doesn't have a trinket, not a single defensive available for him. Corlic, no trinket. All Super Frogs need is 1 clean setup. And ultimately, it seems like Nick wants to get aggressive first on the Wealthy Man, but still, this is very dangerous for Neat moving forward. There's a kidney shot. There's a smoke bomb. If Chanimals has damage, that's
Full
it.
cyclone.
Game over for Neat. Super Frogs claims their spot for BlizzCon.
We are going to see Chanimals and the Super Frogs at BlizzCon.
It's actually going to be very similar compositions, just like the ones we saw 2 weekends ago.
60% of you think Method Orange are going to take it. 40% think the Gosu crew, formerly The Move, are going to take it. Both teams leading with what would be considered their strongest compositions in the current meta. Trill likely playing that Mana Rift Honor talent, so he'd be looking for stuns into Mana Rift on Absterge, trying to tap his mana bar for a late game play.
Yeah, Samayam already getting pressured down. Absterge gets stunned. Doesn't look like there's going to be a Mana Rift. There's the full Root Beam. Looks like WizK looking for a Mass Dispel. He gets interrupted by Trill. Very nicely done. Peekaboo in a little bit of trouble, throwing out the Feint as well as the Cloak of Shadows. Now Imprisonment on Absterge. Absurge. Really good pressure coming in from Method Orange.
WizK already having to disperse despite the Edge of Insanity damage reduction. That's a vital defensive out of the way. Trill getting peeled on his powerful Metamorphosis cooldown by Peekaboo, but Peekaboo's caught in center field with 2 players activating their strongest boost of damage. This is a dangerous play by Peekaboo. He's gambling a lot here. Absurge is also playing it greedy by not trading that Earthen Wall Totem, as we know that is a powerful defensive. Now opting to use it as they switch to WizK, but now almost immediately switching back to Peekaboo. I love these Cyclones by Samayam. It's very unlikely they kill through the Earthen Wall, so instead, Cyclone the target, stop their damage, and stop incoming healing is a much better option. Perfect play by Samayam.
In this matchup, Method Orange theoretically has a big advantage early on with the Incarnation, with the Metamorphosis coming in from Trill. Those are major offensives. The Gosu crew, if they can stabilize, I think during that downtime where Method Orange doesn't have those cooldowns available, they should theoretically have an advantage, but still very good pressure on Peekaboo, trading out the evasion and feint. Now Peekaboo, basically, he has nothing left. He has to completely rely on Absurge defensives if you want to survive.
That was the back of 2 triple stuns by Trill and Sea-Doo. The Gosu crew cannot afford to stack on top of each other against a Demon Hunter. It is definitely a massive error as all their damage spreads to multiple targets and their stun locks. So the Sea-Doo, or Absurge and WizK need to split up. We see a smoke bomb attempt here by Peekaboo, gunning down for Samayam. They don't even manage to pull his bark skin. Now Peekaboo in trouble. Absurge locked down. Absurge needs to respond. He's trying to be greedy and extend the game a bit longer, but that Mana Rift is likely to tick the mana bar of Absurge so much faster than Sea-Doo's. It's looking better and better for Method Orange.
Yes, Sea-Doo into a full kidney shot, though. The Gosu crew looking to get aggressive there and spread their pressure. Trill responds with his darkness. That's going to be preventing all incoming damage. They need to make sure they're taking full advantage of that. It looks like Samayam wants to move into that just a little bit as well. Earthen Wall Totem was down. Gosu crew completely stabilized. Sea-Doo's going to have to play a little bit of catch-up here.
All right, nice Cyclones again by Samayam during the Earthen Wall Totem of Absurge. Just slowing down the game, waiting for that cooldown to be traded out and over. Sea-Doo a bit of pressure, but nice double stun, Solar Beam combo. Method Orange are falling behind despite this aggressive push. Sea-Doo getting caught off guard. How's he going to deal with the pressure? He's going to duck around the corner. Trill's going to pressure Peekaboo off of Sea-Doo. Nice teamwork from Trill. Sea-Doo will recover, trading Ascendance, a powerful defensive, but allows him to restabilize. WizK getting cycloned at low health. Absurge's mana looking worse and worse. Basically, the Gosu crew need to pull off a miracle, as they often do, but somehow manage to do consistently. Other than that, I mean, there's not a lot of openings right now for them, Ven.
No, there really isn't. I mean, Absurge, like you said, way behind on mana. The mana rift's really deadly coming in from Trill. Samayam, he has that Incarnation coming up soon. Metamorphosis almost available for Trill. If they can stack those cooldowns, it's going to be a very scary moment for the Gosu crew. Still good control coming in from Samayam in this matchup. A Hex snuck in there by Sea-Doo onto Absurge. Very nicely done. He has no decurse on his team, so kind of stuck in that. But a Quaking Palm Fear over onto Sea-Doo. Kidney shot on Samayam. Do they have the pressure? Do they have the damage? Looks like he should be able to survive this. Peekaboo getting caught into the stun with the Root Beam onto Absurge. Now Peekaboo has to respond with all his defensives once again.
Yeah, both teams come out swinging. The only thing really that Method Orange are winning on in terms of the front is the mana. Absurge is just getting mana rifted, and the Gosu crew don't have that option to try and trade for Sea-Doo. Instead, they're trying to swap to him and burst him down, but not even making a dent on that kidney shot, as Sea-Doo was in a good position to line of sight WizK. It was basically just Peekaboo who was able to attack, and because of that, it didn't even hurt him. Sea-Doo repositioning. We saw him do this a lot in yesterday's tournament, always moving away from his opponents, trying to play 40 yards max distance. They're forced to now go after Trill. Absurge is pushing forward. The Gosu crew are on a clock. Absurge's mana bar is a ticking time bomb to defeat. We see a silence on Sea-Doo. Trill under fire still, but not enough crowd control to chain together. I would have much rather seen WizK hold on to that silence for a kidney shot and a swap attempt. Sea-Doo preemptively walls, expecting a kidney shot, denies another kill on himself. Sea-Doo in the head of Peekaboo. Now we see Method Orange with a triple crowd control play here. Power play, trying to gun down Peekaboo.
Yep, Absurge caught into the Cyclone as well. Samayam on point with his crowd control. There's the Mana Rift onto Absurge. Unfortunately, I think he got immune there by the Cyclone, so Not the best for Method Orange. Absurd still just not doing well on mana. You can see he's literally 100% mana at this point in the game. You know, Trill provides a lot of self-healing on the Demon Hunter. Samayam has good off-heals as well, so that's why the Gosu crew, they've kind of turned their attention to Sidu, trying to take advantage of the fact that he doesn't have a trinket here. This is a lot of burst damage. Spirit Link gets traded out by Sidu. Trill still has the darkness available, so that's really the only thing Method Orange has left to keep themselves alive.
We've just stepped foot into dampening, and Absurge is almost completely tapped on mana. However, in the past, we've seen him heal on nothing but fumes for quite some time. Sidu has been getting pressured throughout all of this. He's actually on the ropes here with minimal defensive options. He needs a bit of support. Samayam getting some nice cyclones, but Peekaboo is gunning down for the kill. Sidu trades out Ascendance. He's not going to see that cooldown for another 3 minutes. Now Method Orange swing back, triple crowd control, another power play, nice cap totem to follow up, good hex, perfect execution by Method Orange. That will bank them cooldowns from both WizK and potentially a kill throughout it. This is insane pressure from Method Orange. Gets denied, but cooldowns have been forced nonetheless.
Yeah, Sidu trinkets out of blind, so potential opening for the Gosu crew, but this is not looking good. Absurge only has about 5% mana left, and he needs to catch up WizK, who has basically nothing except that Void Shift. Sidu dispelling out some of the VTs once again. Midfield is WizK and Samayam. Samayam looking for a Cyclone, manages to find it to defend Sidu just a little bit, as all 3 members of the move, or the Gosu crew, are charging towards Sidu. Now Samayam caught to the kitty shot with a silence onto Sidu with the Quaking Palm. Beautiful setup from the Gosu crew as they're looking to close out this game. Trill forced to drop out the darkness. Samayam using the bark skin as they use everything they can to stay alive.
Nice crowd control from the Gosu crew. This is the miracle they need. Despite having absolutely no mana, they've managed to create a lot of momentum. This next Vendetta in 24 seconds could be devastating, but in the meantime, they need to survive this attempt. Absurge trinkets, but he trinkets into his Cyclone. Samayam catches him off guard. They're going after WizK. It's not going to be enough. Absurge deflects. Earthen Wall Totem is down. WizK will dip low here, but unlikely go down. Maybe. It seems like it's going to be denied. Earthen Wall Totem on both sides, but Samayam currently not inside of it. He's trying to hop his way back into that defense and survive while Sidu gets crowd controlled. This Earthen Wall is really the last line for Method Orange. The Gosu crew, they're holding on with nothing, but they're slowly grinding their way to victory. Sidu's in a bit of danger here. Trades out Astral Shift. Peekaboo ducks away from the I-Beam, trying to stay on target, just gunning down Sidu. We've often seen these teams go head-to-head, and it ends up being a healer race, but there's no pressure on Absurge, and now this is looking more and more in favor of Gosu crew, even though Absurge has no mana.
As dampening gets higher and higher, Sidu's really going to struggle healing through this Shadow Priest Assassination Rogue pressure. Another mana burn over on the Absurge, but that's a kidney shot on Sidu, and really Method Orange, they don't have anything to help him out. He's caught into the silence. Will he be able to keep himself alive? Ultimately, the Shadow Where Deaths come crashing in from WizK, and the Gosu crew put the first point on the board.
And you wouldn't expect anything less from...
As the most vulnerable, and then a good secondary is Absurge. If they overcommit defensives, they can make a switch to him. So I think it was just a matter of mistargeting, really, by Method Orange towards the end of that match.
Yeah, WizK in center field looking to get some VTs out early on. Peekaboo moving in stealth. Have to see how he opens up. Looks like Samayam gets corroded, and that's really going to be it. Full kidney shot now committed onto Sidu. They want to make a large swap on him very early on. They have dots on Samayam. He's rotting down. Trill flies over, drops the darkness to keep Sidu alive. He only wants to trade out that darkness on that Vendetta, and I think that's a fair trade.
All right, we see 2 members on Method Orange dipping low. Sidu has to deal with that. He's going to use Healing Tide Totem. That heals his whole team over time. Smart trade. Does not want to overlap that with Ascendance. With those both being 3-minute cooldowns, you want to split them about halfway in between. That way you get a good cycle and you always have access to one of those powerful cooldowns. Peekaboo setting up for a blind play here. Looking for a sap, but not actually able to get the sap, so the blind play accomplishes nothing. Now Method Orange have an opening to maybe even be aggressive and go after Absurge.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a big Earth Elemental just bashing Absurge's head, and that was dropped from Sidu early on. So that's the reason why, unfortunately, Peekaboo couldn't get that follow-up sap out of the blind. Now looking to get aggressive on Sidu. He's caught in the kidney shot, but a nice imprisonment on Peekaboo will slow down his damage. Ultimately, Sidu is going to survive here. You see Trill trying to counter pressure Peekaboo away, trying to deflect a little bit of this pressure onto Sidu. Absurge moving in, once again gets stunned into the mana burn from Trill, so that's still a strategy they're trying to implement, but Absurge's mana is doing quite well in this game.
I really feel like they're just going to win by bursting Peekaboo down. Even if Absurge's mana hits 0, I don't think they win by attrition. It's going to be burst and crowd control. So playing for that is a nice way to kind of maybe scare Absurge, but I don't think they can fully rely on that. They still need to execute good crowd control. Nice solar beam here by Samayam, but WizK psychic screened Samayam away, so he wasn't able to do any damage during it. That was a good peel by WizK, allowing his team to breathe easy. Now WizK gets cycloned up. Peekaboo dipping low. Absurge is pushing forward. So you see Healing Tide is 1 minute 34, and he's used Descendants. So splitting them halfway in between is typically the strategy for the Restoration Shaman, so you can maintain your mana for a really late game, but still have access to some powerful defensives throughout the game. We see Absurge still getting mana burned, or mana rifted by Trill, but like I said, I don't think that's going to be really the ultimate win condition. With Peekaboo having no Trinket, no Cloak and Evasion, that's a much higher chance of him going down. He needs to be a bit careful. Absurge is trying to stay next to him. They imprison Peekaboo. He's not able to feint. If they stun him out of this with a Solar Beam, it could be devastating. Doesn't look like they want to go for it. If Absurge stacks up, he could stack up for a double stun as well. He's got to be careful with his positioning.
Yeah, Trill actually went for a Mana Rift on Peekaboo there just to get a little bit of additional damage out in that setup. Didn't really do too much. Kidney Shot now on Sam-I-Am. Seedu drops the Tremor Totem, trying to avoid a fear coming from WizK. Seedu trinks out of the blind. Full root beam on Absurge as well. Sam-I-Am could be in a little bit of trouble. Nice Shadow Step kick coming in from Peekaboo. Sam-I-Am moving out of that Earthen Shield Totem, forcing Peekaboo to overextend a little bit. He's taking a lot of damage. The only thing he has to really work with is that Vanish. Absurge luckily isn't in any crowd control, so should be able to connect some heals here, stabilize Peekaboo. But if you look at mana, Seedu's still way ahead in this matchup compared to Absurge.
I still don't know if it's going to be the win condition. Right now, I think this is actually in favor of Gosu Crew. It's kind of misleading with the way Restoration Shamans work. It doesn't seem like they even need mana. When they may be really, really, really deep dampening, they're going to need mana. But if the Gosu Crew can get a kill on Seedu before that point, which seems to be much more likely, I feel like Gosu Crew are actually favored in this matchup. We see WizK getting swapped too, but again, it's unlikely he goes down on the Shadow Priest with Edge of Insanity. Vampiric Embrace, that's going to be providing a lot of team healing. He gets Cyclone on it. That's well done by Sam-I-Am, but Method Orange are still the ones behind. Seedu cycles through his primary defensives here with Healing Tide down. Should allow him to recover. Now there's the crowd control and the burst. They get Cloak of Shadows and Evasion from Peekaboo. That's what Method Orange are going to be looking to set up, but they need to survive to another attempt. Seedu's locked down.
Yeah, he is. Darkness gets dropped out by Trill. Seedu had no Trinket, no anything up in that moment, no Astral Shift, so Trill was really the last line of defense for him, and this is the strategy coming in from Gosu Crew. They get dots up, get bleeds up on Sam-I-Am, and then they run over to Seedu. They interrupt his heals, keep him in kidney shots, so that way Sam-I-Am rots down. At the same time, Seedu really has to worry about himself, and that keeps Seedu guessing who does the Gosu Crew want to go on, and they can do setups like this with the Fierce Silence on the Seedu. Sam-I-Am in a lot of trouble, uses the Barskin. Nice mind control coming in from WizK. Seedu should be able to connect the heals here. The Earthen Shield Totem, that is enough to keep Sam-I-Am up, but I like the strategy coming in from Gosu Crew.
Sam-I-Am's got Incarnation up. They need to get something done with this, but they're targeting the Shadow Priest with it again. I think the targeting is off. Peekaboo has no Trinket, no Cloak, and no Evasion. Why would you pump 2 Star Surges into WizK in this position? It just seems like a waste of damage. Now they're trying to go after Peekaboo, but the Incarnation timer is just ticking away. They go for the stun, but they don't. They cross crowd control 1 second too late. Everything right there was just a little bit sloppy by Method Orange. That could have been what pushed the Gosu Crew over the edge, just moving into dampening, and they kind of dropped the ball.
Yeah, Peekaboo overextending just a little bit. Trill still looking to punish him, but Peekaboo is doing a good job. He always has his feint up, make sure he's at least in line of sight for Absurges, for those Riptides, for the Earth Shield, so he can continue to get aggressive on Seedu like this. WizK actually trinkets out. They really want to take Seedu down here. Drops the Earthen Shield Totem, he should be fine, but if we look at Seedu's cooldowns, he doesn't have a Trinket, he has no Earthen Shield Totem, Darkness not available. Gosu Crew's looking good.
Absurge is actually getting swapped to, and I like this adaptation by Method Orange. I think switching targets is going to be important for them to find a victory, because the Gosu Crew have been doing that throughout this game, and it seems like so much pressure that Seedu is just going to get absolutely annihilated in game number 2. Method Orange can't rely on this passive mana.
It should be the final game of this series, the Gosu Crew vs Method Orange. Of course, we are in the upper bracket though, so whoever loses this one will just drop down to meet Super Frogs. They could both still play in the grand final then.
Yeah, Mez charging in, Trill as well, trying to get some damage out early on. Look for the mana burns onto Absurge. WizK already taking an immense amount of pressure. And they get the imprisonment. Peekaboo opening up onto both of these Demon Hunters, trying to spread pressure a little bit. There's a silence onto Seedu as well. Gosu Crew, they're going to be looking to bounce around, put pressure onto Seedu, make sure they're rotting down Mez and Trill. Luckily for Seedu, though, Mez and Trill, they're pretty self-sufficient. They can keep themselves alive as they're doing damage.
All right, they traded Darkness from Trill for Peekaboo's Vendetta, and they can cycle Darknesses for that, I believe, almost indefinitely, but now Peekaboo's just keeping up the constant pressure. Seedu's trying his hardest to not trade a cooldown, but now he's blinded at low health. Luckily, I think he is running that Ghost Wolf talent, so he heals himself while sitting in Ghost Wolf. He actually healed himself for full in that blind. Nice talent choice by Seedu, realizing that the Demon Hunters, as you pointed out, are self-sufficient. That Ghost Wolf also allows him to be self-sufficient.
Yeah, look at Absurge's mana already down to around 60%. If they can consistently land these mana burns with mana rifts, it's going to be very difficult for Absurge to sustain for much longer. Let's not forget, I mean, the tank trinkets a couple weeks ago, they definitely helped out the Gosu crew to survive while Absurge was completely tapped on mana. So Method Orange, their strategy could definitely work.
They're getting good pressure on WizK at the moment, which is very surprising. Mana, as you said, is in favor. We'd like to see more Mana Rift attempts. We see a Preemptive Earthen Shield activation here by Absurge right before that Imprison hit. It was a nice read, but WizK's actually moving out of the protection of that totem. WizK, I know you're a Shadow Priest, but even this might be a bit of a gamble. He's trying to get back into it. Absurge getting stun locked once again. Peekaboo going after Sea-Doo.
What?
WizK looking to try and get some dots. This is the most pressure we've seen WizK under, I think, in a long time, but Sea-Doo now caught in a stun. WizK moves over to follow up with that silence. This could be a Darkness or a Trinket trade. Trinket Spirit Link. Vital defensives forced by Method Orange. They're on match points, and they're against the wall.
Yeah, and that wasn't the Vendetta coming in from Peekaboo. We need to see Mez have Darkness available. If the Gosu crew can cross-crowd control Mez, get him in a Hex, get him in a Fear, while they kidney shot Sea-Doo, that's an opportunity for them to really exploit the fact that Mez has already used his Trinket. Absurge caught. What is happening to Absurge's health and mana? These mana rifts are insane coming in from Method Orange. Absurge almost completely tapped, uses the Ascendance to catch up. Now Sea-Doo in some trouble, kidney shot committed on him. This is the Vendetta as well. Mez there, thankfully, for the Darkness to keep Sea-Doo alive.
Yeah, and the next time Trill will have his Darkness, so they've got a good strategy to deal with Peekaboo's Vendetta. It comes down to how Sea-Doo deals with the downtime in between. So far, he's been getting pressured quite heavily and having a difficult time. Fortunately, Absurge is almost tapped on mana if Method Orange Demon Hunters can keep that up. It looks like they're switching to Mez, trying to peel for Absurge, allow him some time to recover. Looking for a cheeky Hex. We see a blind. Unlikely that they take Mez out in this position. They get the sap if they can keep this crowd control chain going just a little bit longer. Perhaps Mez will be in some trouble. Doesn't appear to be the case. Triple Psychic Scream. Good setup by the Gosu crew. This chain has been going on for quite some time, and Mez is still just hanging on. Quite comfortably, actually. Sea-Doo now has Earthen Wall. Very unlikely Mez goes down in this position. Method Orange start to stabilize, but Earthen Wall isn't available for Sea-Doo, as he is likely the primary kill target. That's an opening for Gosu crew.
WizK had a really nice play, actually life-gripped Absurge out of the double mana rift. That was his last little bit of mana that he protected there, so very nicely done. But now Mez and Trill, they're moving in. Double mana rift onto Absurge as he gets low. A lot of damage coming in once again. Mana Rift actually does a considerable amount of burst. Not only does it drain your mana, but it seems to be chunking Absurge down every time they can land two of those. There's a kidney shot onto Mez. No trinket available, but a nice imprisonment from Trill will defend.
It's not going to be mana that Sea-Doo obviously loses this game on. He's been full every single game. It's going to be swaps and burst damage by the Gosu crew as a rogue needs a miracle to try and burst down through this. WizK getting pressured, and this is still the most pressure we've seen on him throughout this tournament, so this composition is definitely playing better than the Balanced Druid Demon Hunter was. Mana Rift once again, Absurge completely tapped, but it's not going to really matter until we start moving into dampening, and I think we're still pretty far away from that point, so the Gosu crew are going to have quite a few more opportunities to go after Sea-Doo. They've got Earthen Wall Totem used on Mez. Now Sea-Doo doesn't have it for himself. Peekaboo sees that opportunity. He's making his way over.
Yeah, this is where we need to see Method Orange really capitalize on the fact that the Gosu crew is out of mana, but Sea-Doo in some trouble. Trades out the Astral Shift and Darkness. That's an overlap coming in from Method Orange. Like I said, these are the kind of things that Gosu crew can really exploit later on. Once again, Absurge gets life gripped out of the double mana rift. Sea-Doo now caught into the kidney shot. They need to help him. Imprisonment on Peekaboo. He doesn't have a trinket. That should be enough to keep Sea-Doo alive, but he's still under a lot of pressure.
Peekaboo is just doing so much damage. Sea-Doo is having a hard time just even finding a way to spend all of the exorbitant amount of mana he has. I'm not sure if he should be trying to hardcast the healing surges. He's really trying to exploit the Ghost Wolf talents and heal with that to be as much mana efficient as possible, not really open himself up to any interrupts, but every once in a while he just catches these really close calls and he's on match points. It could just be knocking him down to the lower bracket. Absurge though finally in trouble as Mez and Trill gun for him. He pops Ascendance. He's also likely playing Ghost Wolf talent, so he's healing while he's just running a Ghost Wolf basically for free. These Resto Shamans can extend the match for quite some time. Peekaboo getting swapped too. I like the split pressure from Method Orange. Right now it's unlikely that Sea-Doo goes down. He has a lot of options to survive. It's finally looking in favor of Method Orange.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. Peekaboo getting a little low, WizK getting a little low. Absurge trying to get a combat to sit down for a drink. Here's the double mana rift once again. Absurge trinkets out. He knows how much damage that does. He needs to save the mana that he can. Garrote on Sea-Doo, cheap shot on Mez. WizK looking to get aggressive as he pushes in. Double Chaos Nova going to be used by Trill. But WizK, he trinkets out, looking for the Panda Racial over on to Sea-Doo, but I think it actually broke, unfortunately, so not going to be able to completely capitalize on that.
All right, they're going after Sea-Doo once again. They have Darkness for every Vendetta. They need to find a way to crowd control Mez when they use this next Vendetta if they want to take Sea-Doo down. In the meantime, this is probably it for Absturge's mana and potentially his life. Huge burst from Method Orange. They life grip Absturge. Will he be able to hang on? Looks like he might be able to hang on, just barely, just healing with the Ghost Wolf. He doesn't have mana to spend, so that's the only heal he can really do. WizK is actually under some pressure here as well by Method Orange. Perhaps force a dispersion. The deeper we move into dampening, the more likely it is that Method Orange will take this. But with the tank trinket changes, it's going to be difficult to make it that far. Absturge stun locked once again. Nobody next to him for that Spearling Totem. He needs his team. Maybe he doesn't. Absturge doesn't need nobody to stay alive, I guess. He's just going to run away and Ghost Wolf. Try and catch the slowest healing wave ever. Not even actually off to go for it. Sea-Doo getting trained down by Peekaboo. There's the Vendetta committed. Mez trades Darkness. Although Sea-Doo isn't actually inside of it, so this could be danger time for Sea-Doo if Peekaboo can stay on target, but double stun peels Peekaboo and WizK away, forcing vital defenses from them, and now the Gosu crew are on the ropes.
Yeah, WizK, no cooldowns left, no dispersion, and with Absurge having really no mana to work with, this could be scary. Kidney shot on Mez. He has the rain from above, so at any point he can fly up into the sky and avoid a lot of this incoming damage. All three members from Method Orange rotting down. Absurge in a lot of trouble, still trying to kite away. No mana available. Astral Shift is going to get used once again. Trying to just get out of combat, try to connect some heals onto himself. I really feel like Method Orange, they need to turn their attention onto WizK, keep this pressure up on him. He's very vulnerable with no Void Shift, no dispersion, but a smoke bomb, kidney shot on Mez. Mez ultimately going to survive, and WizK in so much trouble.
Are they finally going to be able to take WizK down? Absturge has absolutely no mana left. We're moving into critical points of dampening. It doesn't look like it's going to be likely, but every once in a while the mana regenerates just enough for Absturge to squeeze in a healing wave. And with the Shaman Mastery, it heals for a lot more when you heal a low health target, and it's just working out for Absturge to be able to keep this game going. The Gosu crew, on the other hand, have been going after Mez quite a lot, and I feel like it's unlikely they take him down. It's more likely Sea-Doo is going to be the target, but they can't really risk going after him. If WizK line of sights Absturge, it's going to be Curtains. Nice life grip on Absturge, protecting him from that mana rift. That might have just been the kill there. Good defensive teamwork by WizK. It's basically up to Peekaboo. Peekaboo has to carry this game and find a kill basically by himself on Sea-Doo. Other than that, I see no opportunity for the Gosu crew.
Yeah, Mez getting low, doesn't have the blur for another 8 seconds. Sea-Doo keeping him alive, though, quite easily. Double Chaos Nova coming in from Trill once again onto WizK and Peekaboo. Absurge trying to get a little bit of mana here. Look at him, he's out of combat, sitting down for a drink. Method Orange, they need to see this. They need to shut it down. Ultimately, they do. There's the stun. Double mana rift once again onto Absurge as they bring him down very low. Astral Shift's going to be used. So much pressure coming in from this double Demon Hunter. Kidney shot on Sea-Doo. In the meantime, he uses the Astral Shift into the silence. He needs to stay alive a little longer. Triple Fear coming in, and Sea-Doo gets taken down. Somehow, some way, the Gosu crew managed to take down Method Orange 3-0.
I still think they're going to play this out. Absurge doesn't have anything, although it doesn't seem like he needs anything most of the time. Let's see. They've still got their Metamorphosis activated right now with I-Beam doing immense pressure. WizK's got Vampiric Embrace to deflect this. With a Hex and a stun, I'm sure Mez is going to be going down in this position, and the Gosu crew are going to close it out. Method Orange were very close to the win condition, but without that extra added durability of the tank trip, 56%, that's a very low percentage normally for Method Orange. Let's see if they can keep their steam going, moving for a potential rematch against the Gosu crew later today, where Super Frogs are looking to establish that they can diversify despite their specializations not being in the strongest position, which is really important at the start of a new expansion. When anything is on the table, you just need to find out what is the best as quickly as possible and master it. We see Sea-Doo getting reversed magic. That's going to be the advantage that Trill has. Cubsy does not have that same luxury. He is currently solar being both members on his team at 50% as momentum swings in favor of Method Orange.
Yeah, when you compare the Demon Hunter and the Assassination Rogue, there's a lot of differences between the two specializations. Right now, both Channels and Wealthy Man taking quite a bit of damage. There's a full blind committed on the Sea-Doo. He's actually going to sit it for now with the kidney shot onto Trill. A lot of burst. Trill trinkets out. Blade Dance is trying to get away. Sea-Doo sits that blind, that might be a mistake. We'll have to see how it works out for him later on. I mean, Trill, he does have the darkness, but no trinket available to really get that out. They get a root beam on Sea-Doo and force his trinket there. There's an opening for Super Frogs with the next blind coming up in 2 minutes.
I mean, I feel like Trill is going to die even before that point. In 12 more seconds, I think Chanimal can initiate a kill sequence here. Cubsy needs to Windshear Sam IM. Chanimal needs to Solar Beam Sea-Doo. This kidney shot's a bit early. They're trying to capitalize with the smoke bomb, but if they had waited for Solar Beam, they could have taken Sea-Doo out of the fight. They're trying to continue the chain after the fact, but that huge opportunity, if they were just patient by the matter of 5 more seconds, I feel like they could have executed a kill. They go for the Solar Beam, but it looks like Cubsy was either able to Stone Form or pre-dispel it, so that's unfortunate. That's not going to allow Method Orange a huge opportunity here. They're still trying to capitalize on it with an Imprison, but Chanimal deflects in a good defensive position, posturing with that Bark Skin, reducing the damage. Now, Chanimal trying to lead the charge. Solar Beam, Kidney Shot, good cross crowd control. Nice interrupt on Sam IM's support. This is perfect play by the Super Frogs as they're looking to pull more cooldowns from Method Orange. Just not enough damage, unfortunately.
Yeah, Trill using the Eye Beam, getting into the Metamorphosis, and when he's in that, he's going to have very powerful self-healing and a lot of damage for Wealthy Man. He doesn't have the evasion, no Cloak of Shadows, very vulnerable. Trades out the feint. Cubsy connects the heals that he needs. Wealthy Man trying to get some pressure on both Sam IM and Trill, so Chanimal can sort of pick a target to get on when they finally land that crowd control on Sea-Doo. But so far, it seems like everyone's kind of fine in this situation.
Chanimal trying to gun down for some pressure here. They managed to pull Earthen Wall Totem, which at this point I would say is actually the best cooldown that a Restoration Shaman has. It's probably better than anything else in his arsenal. So now without that, Sea-Doo could be exposed. I think it's likely they go after Trill. They want to deny reverse magic, so you can't use that when you're in a Kidney Shot or crowd controlled. Wealthy Man will time Kidney Shot on Trill when Chanimal times Solar Beam on Sea-Doo to deny the support from the 2 players. Cubsy then interrupts Sam IM's utility with Wind Shear or Shadow Step Kick. There's the Solar Beam. There's the Kidney Shot. Good execution here by the Super Frogs. That nets them another kill from another cooldown from Trill with his trinket no longer available. Smoke Bomb coming up in 1 minute and 13 seconds. Super Frogs have the same opportunity that they had roughly 2.5 minutes ago from now to do it again. If they're patient, they properly execute it, they can erase Trill from the game.
Well, the next setup I want to see, Kidney Shot Trill, blind Sea-Doo. That forces out his trinket, and then all of a sudden you have no trinkets that Method Orange really has to work with, except Sam IM. They can easily take Trill down with that. They just need to be patient, like you said, get that set up, and I think it's going to force Sea-Doo's hand to have to trinket out of that blind.
All right, Earthen Wall Totem forced again before the Solar Beam, before the Vendetta. That's a very powerful cooldown. Now Chanimal sees that. It's like, okay, there's no reason to attack. Let's just Cyclone, stop some damage, help Cubsy's mana, wait for Earthen Wall Totem to fade, then move for the kill. Trill still with no trinket. Vendetta's available, Incarn's available. Chanimal and Wealthy Man have a ton of damage right now, but Cubsy gets swapped to as Method Orange try and pull off a miracle kill. After Cubsy, they managed to pull his trinket at least, showing signs of life with spread pressure on multiple targets. Unfortunately, still with no trinket. Super Frogs play this patient. They've got Solar Beam. Sam IM's going to pull the trigger first, getting Cubsy locked down, and sometimes offense is the best defense if they can put them on the back foot. They may never be able to punch back. Chanimal desperately trying to run away. There's the Solar Beam, there's the Kidney Shot. Vendetta gets committed. It's all or nothing. Sea-Doo trinkets, connects the Spirit Link 1 second before that moment happened, but now there's no trinket for blind. They still follow the chain with a Cyclone. Trill, in desperation to escape to safety, hangs on by a thread.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to keep Trill alive is a pre-Earthen Shield Totem from Sea-Doo. Next Kidney Shot, Trill will not have a trinket available. This is very scary for Method Orange. Sea-Doo's going to have to top him off and play like a god because he will get caught into a full blind very, very shortly. There's a Kidney Shot on Trill. Sea-Doo dropping out the Earthen Shield Totem. Nicely done, and that buys Trill enough time to get his trinket back up. He has the darkness, and now he's going to be stable and safe for quite some time.
Yep, on this next blind, but they could almost switch to Sea-Doo. That might be a better option to catch him off guard. But in the meantime, it's actually Wealthy Man falling behind as Trill takes this game into his own hands. Good crowd control chain by Method Orange. Finally punching back, making this game look a lot less one-sided now as we move into dampening. They're still battling it out. Wealthy Man caught in roots. Chanimal running for his life, actually, at the moment. He used a Solar Beam there, but didn't actually get too much out of it. And the Super Frogs are starting to croak a bit here moving into the late game. Cubsy getting crowd controlled. Wealthy Man in trouble. Trades evasion on 5%, but Sam IM can attack through that. Cubsy doing everything he can. He's actually being very greedy. There's the earthen wall. Wealthy Man actually leaving the safety of that earthen wall, getting cycloned at low health, and things are starting to fall apart for the Frogs.
Yeah, they really don't have much. Cubsy has the trinket and the spirit link. That is a very powerful defensive to keep them alive. But here it is, full blind on Sea-Doo. Sam I Am into the kidney shot. Trill saving his life with the darkness there. Nicely done. Now Wealthy Man's the one that's under fire. If they get CC on Cubsy, this is very dangerous. Wealthy Man, no vanish, no cloak of shadows, no evasion, no nothing. Chanimal's realizing his teammate's in trouble, throwing out a cyclone on the Sam I Am to slow him down just a little bit, but at 7% dampening, this game's just going to get more and more unstable for both teams.
Yeah, Wealthy Man in trouble here as Cubsy's locked down. He trinkets out a solar beam, tries to interrupt the follow-up. Trill getting kidney shot, but now with triple trinket on Method Orange's side, there's no openings. Super Frogs need at least another 2 minutes to work through those cooldowns, but they're on the clock. Dampening stacking up. They're losing out on mana. They're losing out on cooldowns, and despite Super Frogs' momentum in early and mid game, in the late game, Method Orange are kings. I'm not sure how much longer Cubsy can keep this going, but it's all on his shoulders.
Yeah, Wealthy Man very vulnerable on that assassination rogue. Shadow Step, kidney shot over onto Trill. Are they going to be able to pull anything out from this? Doesn't look like it. Sea-Doo not having to use anything. Trill not having to use anything either. There's a full root beam on Sea-Doo. Big swap now onto Cubsy, though. He uses the Astral Shift. Very powerful defensive. I like that setup coming in from Method Orange. A bit of a strategy change. In the meantime, Super Frogs, they're looking to get aggressive on Sam I Am with a nice full cyclone onto Sea-Doo. Chanimal's going to freeze up Sam I Am's HP on that Bark Skin. I think that's good. He has his Incarnation up. There's no reason to really mess with him at this point.
They're switching targets now to Trill, trying to keep Sea-Doo on his toes. But Sam I Am has Incarnation. Wealthy Man needs to be careful. He can't afford to be greedy in this position. If he gets stunned with no trinket, his health will just disappear. He's still playing it out greedy. Now the Incarnation has faded. The threat is gone. Cubsy gets swapped to. Sam I Am dunking him. Tons of damage. Cubsy trying to duck around the corner. Wealthy Man peels for him. Good teamwork. Sam I Am still under fire. Nice cyclone by Chanimal. He's got Incarnation going. He's trying to build a lot of momentum, but this Incarnation from Chanimal isn't getting the most done, and it really wasn't properly set up. It's a lot of damage, but they haven't locked Sea-Doo down. He can just easily heal through this with Ascendance and Innervate. Now that Incarnation for Chanimal, he may not see it again before this game ends.
Full blind on Sea-Doo. He trinkets out. Sam I Am getting lower and lower. Wealthy Man in the meantime trying to get counter pressure away by Trill. He wants to force Wealthy Man off of Sam I Am. Sea-Doo forced to drop out the Spirit Link as he gets caught in the capstone. In the meantime, Wealthy Man, he has Cloak of Shadows and Evasion. If he uses both of those together, he's basically immune to damage at that point. At 20% dampening, he wants to try to hold on to those cooldowns as long as he can so he can continue to feel safe, getting aggressive on Sea-Doo or Sam I Am as the game progresses.
Cubsy locked down, Chanimal on the run. Is he going to throw the game? He's got defensives. He just needs to trade. He's being really greedy. Bark's getting on 10%. This is so greedy by Chanimal. Super Frogs are hanging on. No, the greed is going to cost them game one.
Oh, man. And coming out of this one, the first thing that we do have to ask, was that
nailed down for it? And even with Assassination, which is a bit easier to pick up, I still think it's not the case that you can just walk in on this and beat Method Orange, who are obviously well practiced on this.
You're absolutely right. Every Rogue Mage player is just the best players in this game.
I will say though, I think it's not. That almost got through. But I do think that Chun-Li has been able to pick up this spec. I think he has been able to play it well. It just goes a step further. Have they been able to find this synergy? We're going to find out here. If not, Super Frogs are going to find themselves in a dire situation. Method Orange will be on match point.
That's a full blind sap on Sea-Doo, and Sam I Am only trades out his Bark Skin and gets interrupted. Bash on Sea-Doo. Cubsy looking for the DR Cyclone. Sea-Doo might have to trade out his Trinket Link here, but no, Sam I Am just going to deflect it with the renewal. And Moonkin form heal will be enough to keep him alive. Now caught into a kidney shot once again. Super Frogs with good pressure early on, but Sea-Doo saving every single defensive he has.
That was one of the most well-coordinated assaults we've seen from a team at the start of that game, and it got them really nowhere. So they played extremely well in this composition and executed that situation perfectly and didn't go anywhere. If that doesn't tell you that this composition isn't in a good position to take this, I don't know what else will. Obviously they can play for a later game into dampening. They're still getting decent crowd control on Sea-Doo at the moment, trying to gun down Sam I Am. But Sea-Doo has Grounding Totem, he has Ascendance, he can trade these out to recover. He's being a bit greedy, but not ultimately going to cost him anything too much so far. Cubsy getting stun locked by Trill. They've been making constant swaps to Cubsy. He had to trade a lot early on. Trill's just going after him.
Yeah, well, Cubsy with the Cyclones is just so powerful and effective at shutting down and helping assist his team and getting kills onto Samayam. So if Trill just pressures him down, Samayam throws out some damage onto him as well. They can prevent him from feeling confident and safe to get aggressive. One thing I want to talk about as well is Wealthy Man once again isn't using the triple Frigid Grasp with the Ice Form. If he had that in the opener, Samayam would have just been deleted out of the game immediately. It's just so much bonus damage, and I can't... I just don't know why he's not using it. It's just such a strong trait. It feels like they're really missing out.
He's playing a sustained late game build against what might be considered the best sustained late game comp that Method Orange are playing. So they're playing to the strengths of their opponents. They just can't match them in that regard. And that is a really good point that Samayam was on 10% in that start of the fight. If they had that Ice Form and Frigid Grasp, they may have forced at least trinkets from multiple members and maybe even a kill early on. So I don't think the Super Frogs are playing to the strengths of this matchup in particular, and it looks more so to be the case that Method Orange are likely to take this series. Cubsy in trouble, trying to get away from Trill. Samayam caught into another stun. Good polymorph on Sea-Doo. Trill is far away. He's trying to get his way back to Samayam, but it doesn't seem to be enough. Wealthy Man has committed Icy Veins and not got anything done. Nice crowd control here by Method Orange. Chun-Li is just going to get crunched. 2-0 lead, match point. This composition swap was a throw.
It did not necessarily will be there, but yeah, keep your eyes on Chanimal. He's going to try to be building up that insanity to keep himself nice and safe throughout this match. Try to be as tanky as Samayam was. Will Method Orange be able to work through this composition that's already been giving him a little bit of trouble today?
Definitely have to see. This is not the worst start for Method Orange, though. Triple stun coming in. Good pressure on Wealthy Man and Chanimals. Wealthy Man already trading out his Cloak of Shadows. Stun onto Cubsy into the Mana Rift. A big setup coming here from Method Orange, but Sea-Doo could be in some trouble. Gets Kidney Shot into the silence. But ultimately going to be able to deflect it with that Earthen Wall Totem.
Trill actually playing reverse magic this game. They saw that the kill window against Sea-Doo against the Gosu crew was the stun into silence. So Trill can play reverse magic and remove the silence, and that's just enough break in the crowd control chain for Sea-Doo to easily recover. It's a nice adaptation by the team of Method Orange, as it is likely that they will just be running at Sea-Doo most of this game. Vendetta has been committed. Sea-Doo trades 1-for-1 with that Astral Shift. So far, so good for Method Orange.
Yeah, not bad for Method Orange at all. Super Frogs, they're doing the right strat at running at Sea-Doo, but they're missing the very important part of the strategy we saw from the Gosu crew, where they're making sure Samayam is pressured down. That way they have multiple pressure points in the matchup. If Sea-Doo can just run around a Ghost Wolf, he has Earth Shield on himself, it's going to be much less scary for Method Orange.
Good setup here on Wealthy Man. He doesn't have Cloak of Shadows. Could be dangerous, but it doesn't seem like he cares. He's just going to be training Sea-Doo. They're on match point. Tournament lives on the line. They're trying to go all in. This is a risky decision by the team of the Super Frogs. Cubsy trying to Wealthy Man just running out of that Earthen Wall Totem. He just does not care if he goes down. He's taking Sea-Doo with him.
I don't know if he is. Sea-Doo looking pretty healthy right now. Earthen Wall Totem available. He has a Trinket. He has a Spirit Link. Trill has Darkness. Lots available for Sea-Doo to stay alive, but Wealthy Man putting out good pressure. Doesn't want to overextend, though. Needs to make sure he's in line of sight of Cubsy to get those Riptides, get topped off before he goes on his Sea-Doo assault once again.
All right, at this point, Cubsy's doing decent on mana. Channel's been getting quite a lot of offensive pressure as well. I still would like to see some split damage on Trill a bit. Try and rot the team, make Sea-Doo have to come back. There's a silence. Trill jumps over. Reverse Magic's it with only 1 second left. I feel like that wasn't very value reverse magic there by Trill. And silence is a slightly lower cooldown, so now they won't have that option for the next Kidney Shot, which is also likely to have Vendetta with it. I think this reverse magic from Trill was a mistake and could actually cost Method Orange the game here moving forward.
Kidney Shot on Sea-Doo, good pressure. Cubsy gets caught to the root beam, though. Samayam and Trill looking to get aggressive on a Chanimals, forced into the dispersion. I just think Super Frogs, they're playing this so hyper-aggressive on Sea-Doo. I mean, it could work out, but when we saw the Gosu crew execute this strategy, they made sure they had multiple pressure points.
I was going to say that reverse magic was a mistake by Trill, and then Chanimal did a 1 second silence. That mistake doesn't matter anymore. Chanimal under fire, trying to burst him down as it looks like the Super Frogs make a swap as well to Samayam, trying to at least catch Sea-Doo slightly off guard, realizing that tuttling him down isn't really working. He's likely to be the kill target, but before dampening, he's going to be quite durable, and Wealthy Man's really risking his life to constantly go after him. There's good damage on Samayam. Chanimal creating a lot of pressure on multiple targets. Good reverse magic there. Sea-Doo connects Earthen Wall, although before Vendetta, that was a bit of a preemptive play by Sea-Doo. Wealthy Man now has a lot of damage he can commit. Sea-Doo needs to be ready.
Yeah, double fear from Chanimals. They're looking to set up onto Sea-Doo. Mana Rift on Cubsy once again. Cubsy's running out of time in terms of his mana. Now full root beam. Chanimal's trinkets out of the stun. He wants to get aggressive, but he's gotten to another one. Cyclone over onto Cubsy from Samayam. Chanimal's taking a lot of burst. There's an imprisonment from Trill, continuing the chain. Cubsy trinkets out. Chanimal no trinket. Cubsy no trinket. Chanimal doesn't have dispersion either, but in the meantime, Sea-Doo could be in some trouble. The kidney shot into silence. Trill drops the darkness to shut down this kill attempt from Super Frogs, but they're slowly getting Sea-Doo down.
Yeah, still, it's match point. We're not in dampening. Super Frogs need to survive for maybe another 2 minutes with this strategy, maybe even longer than that, maybe 2 or 4 minutes. But they're the ones just inevitably falling behind. Method Orange always make good trades. Outside of the occasional reverse magic from Trill, which now he can back up with Darkness, they haven't really been making any errors. So the Super Frogs are playing all in, and eventually they're going to get caught off guard. Multiman is overextended. Cubsy moves in to try and support. Will it be enough is a question. Reverse magic on the silence. Chanimal can't support. He gets cloned by Samayam. Multiman's dipping low. Cubsy gets solar beamed. Perfect execution by Method Orange. Multiman is barely hanging on. Chanimal swaps his health to stay in the fight just a bit longer, but then Samayam switches his attention to Chanimal. Clones him at low health. Cubsy stuck between a rock and a hard place, trying to recover, but it looks like the Super Frogs are starting to make their way back into this fight, still continuing to gun down Sea-Doo.
Yeah, but when they're all targeting down Sea-Doo, they get caught behind the box, and that's where Trill can really get out a lot of significant damage. You can see, luckily for, Super Frogs, the Earthen Wall Totem will be enough to deflect, but Chanimal's taking a lot of pressure as well. He gets interrupted. Kidney shot on Trill. Looks like Super Frogs is trying to get something else done here. Trill has his trinket. He has his blur. Doesn't want to use it too late. Gets out of the stun, uses the blur. That's going to prevent a lot of incoming damage. Sea-Doo finally getting off some heals, tops off his team, and now Wealthy Man once again turning his attention over on the Sea-Doo.
I like what Method Orange are doing here. They're just hitting multiple targets and trying to keep Cubsy on his toes, attacking the non-Earth Shield target. Also a good priority with Cubsy being out of mana. This is some good adaptations by Method Orange strategically against this composition, to which they got annihilated by versing the Gosu crew. So this is a good stepping stone for Method Orange to move to the finals. They've secured a clear window for kill, but Shadow Priests are very durable, so Chanimal's just hanging on at 5%. He's actually going to make it out alive. That crowd control chain was purring, but he's going to make it out alive. Now some counter pressure on Trill as Super Frogs try to keep their tournament dreams alive.
Yeah, Sea-Doo shuts it down, though, with the Earthen Wall Totem. He's going to be fine, and Metamorphosis looking for a little bit of pressure on the Wealthy Man. Wealthy Man has no evasion, but he still has a Cloak of Shadows. Kidney shot now on Samayam. Sea-Doo has his Trinket. He's in a good position to just spam out heals at 8%, dampening things start to get unstable for both teams. Cubsy almost completely tapped on mana, though. Samayam trying to drag Wealthy Man out of position away from Cubsy, then get out damage and avoid some of the incoming heals. Sea-Doo wants to catch up his team's HP, popping the Ascendance, very powerful cooldown. Gets out multiple heals on his team, and looks like Method Orange is stable as they look to get aggressive on a Wealthy Man.
Ooh, Cloak of Shadows forced from Wealthy Man, and this is what happens in dampening. You use your defensives during windows that you otherwise wouldn't. He would like to Cloak of Shadows when Samayam uses Incarnation, but he had to trade it before it, and Samayam sees that opening, pulls the trigger, tons of damage. Wealthy Man on the run as they gun down for the kill. Cubsy needs to be the one to allow Wealthy Man to recover. He's trying to be greedy. Trill overextended as well. No reverse magic. Sea-Doo has to trinket. Suddenly the Super Frogs pull off a moment that should have been their defeat and find an opportunity to swing momentum in their favor. Wealthy Man still on the back foot, though. Sea-Doo gets Psychic Screamed away. Pressure on Samayam. Both teams actually keeping this fight going for quite some time, but with dampening ramping up, Cubsy's mana completely invisible on the bar.
Can't see it at all.
I don't know how much longer the Super Frogs can keep this up.
Chanimals does have the dispersion. Kidney shot now on Trill. He has his Trinket. He has reverse. He has blur. Doesn't want to wait too long. Trinket blur. Trying to avoid some damage with the Blade Dance as well. Silence gets reversed over on a Chanimal. Cyclone on Wealthy Man. Samayam looking to CC up the enemy team so they can get aggressive. Another stun into Mana Burn or Mana Rift on the Cubsy. Now he has literally no mana to work with. Wealthy Man barely going to be able to survive here potentially. Triple Chaos Nova coming in. Method Orange looking to close out this game and close out this series. Full Cyclone on Cubsy. He trinkets out. He still has the Spirit Link. So one last line of defense here for Super Frogs.
But if his whole team low health, blind, no trinket. Samayam needs
no
to
way.
He fake cast the wind shear. Samayam fake cast
no
the
way.
Cubsy grounds the clone. Trill sneaks in darkness just in the nick of time to survive. And now Wealthy Man on the back foot gets cloned at low health. Cubsy still has Spirit Link, but with all three members low on health, that cooldown doesn't do too much. They swap over to Cubsy, catching him in the stun. No trinket available on 1%. He barely hangs on. He's got no mana. He's got no health. How much longer can the Super Frogs do this? They can't. They fall. Method Orange Orange get a second chance in the grand finals.
Method Orange will get the rematch, and ultimately the Super Frogs put up a really good fight with it.
And start using them onto Peekaboo and Whiskey, or will they do the same strategy as before?
Welcome everybody to the grand finals. The Gosu crew once again go head-to-head with Method Orange, top point earners looking to assert dominance in the North American region, securing their top seed for BlizzCon, increasing their opportunity and likely to win that tournament, which they've been working all year towards. This is going to be an epic show.
We'll have to see. Mez and Trill are going to be looking for those mana rifts onto Absterge. There's the stun, double mana if he gets gripped out. WizK and Absterge, they have to rotate their trinkets as well as that life grip in order to extend Absterge's mana as long as possible.
All right, good utility from WizK early on. Sea-Doo, once again, it's up to Peekaboo. He is the one that has to take Sea-Doo down almost by himself, especially with this double reverse magic. Everything is on his shoulders offensively. Everything is on Abster's shoulders defensively to somehow heal through a game with absolutely zero mana. I'm really curious to see if they can get any cross-crowd control going with the Psychic Screams on the Demon Hunters. I'd like to see Shadow Step stun Sea-Doo, Psychic Scream both Demon Hunters. That could be a nice way to execute on isolating Sea-Doo, which is likely the most vulnerable target for the Gosu crew. In the meantime, Method Orange going after WizK, just trying to pressure him, slowly run Absterge out of mana, as it is likely that both teams need a bit of dampening to secure any kills. Sea-Doo uses Trinket to get out of blind to assist his teammates. Now he doesn't have Trinket to save himself, and as being the most vulnerable target, that's an opening that Peekaboo can exploit.
Yeah, Trill and Mez are going to be staggering their metamorphosis. I think it's very intelligent. They've created scary moments throughout the game. There's a stun on Absterge. We can expect his mana. He's going to get chunked down there, just about 60% right now. And as the game goes on, Mez and Trill, they're going to consistently land that mana rift to reduce his incoming mana. This game, it seems like Mez and Trill have had a lot more pressure on the WizK. It's nice. Absterge actually has to expend a lot more mana, and WizK is a lot more pressured, but he doesn't seem to mind just pushing in. Gets the Quaking Palm Fear onto Sea-Doo. Mez could be in a little trouble, but just the amount of self-healing that Mez and Trill have, I don't feel like they're really going to go down in this matchup.
Yeah, the demonic build with Soul Rending in Battle for Azeroth is so much more powerful with a reduced cooldown on I-Beam that Mez and Trill can basically self-sustain through the damage of the Gosu crew, even with Sea-Doo in crowd control, which is why I say it's unlikely that anyone other than Sea-Doo goes down in this fight. So Sea-Doo just needs to be ready for that, and the team needs to support him during those moments. Extend the game till they run Absterge out of mana. Extend the game into deep dampening and win the late game. It's all up to Method Orange to extend the match. Right now, good crowd control on Sea-Doo. No reverse magic. There's a window of opportunity. They managed to pull at least Astral Shift from Sea-Doo. They really need to try and get Darknesses, but with Sea-Doo's Earthen Wall Totem, I don't see any kills happening. We see Peekaboo's Vendetta available. There's actually an opening here with Kidney Shot on Sea-Doo if Peekaboo can do it in the next 25 seconds. I want to see a double Psychic Scream on this setup. They've got Vendetta. They pulled a trigger, but there's no crowd control. Triple Fear. Nice play by the Gosu crew.
Wow. As he trinketed out to drop the Darkness, and he got feared on it by WizK. That was a beautiful setup. If Mez just dropped the Darkness, he would have survived, but
Orange to extend the match just that little bit longer. They've come really close to making it to the late game where they're favored, but they have to execute it. They can't get caught off guard or get dismantled by the Gosu crew before they get to that critical mass point.
It just comes down to making small mistakes, getting overzealous, looking to close out the game earlier than you need to. If they just play it safe, they rotate properly, I really feel like Method Orange, they have a winning composition here, but the Gosu crew so far has really been able to exploit that.
All right, blind on Sea-Doo. How's he going to... Normally you want to trinket this as a healer, but because you're likely to kill targets, super risky to do it. So he's opting not to. I think that was the right decision. Mez looked perfectly fine. Now we see Method Orange swinging back with a triple stun. Reverse magic on Silence. No overlap. Good play there between Mez and Trill. Now they'll have that second reverse magic to rely on to deny the next upcoming Silence. So it's up to crowd controlling Mez. They need to use the Earth Grab Totem on Mez or Psychic Scream. That way he can't get Sea-Doo out of the Silence. Peekaboo just gunning down Sea-Doo as would be expected for the rest of this match. Absterge imprisoned, double mana burn. Actually misses there. I'm not sure if that was a mistake, but it's going to cost him a mana rift, and that's super unfortunate because that's basically all Mez and Trill have to do offensively. They could do 0 damage. All they have to do is land every mana rift on Absterge until dampening, then start doing damage. So I want to see them focus up. Method Orange need to get this together.
Yeah, want to see the Fel stuns onto him so they can get that mana rift. There's a stun. Let's see if his mana goes down. They land it. There it is. Sea-Doo in a little bit of trouble, though, into the kidney shot. Darkness is going to get dropped out there by Trill. They don't want to mess around with this Vendetta. WizK actually already using his Dispersion as well. I didn't notice that, so there is an opening here for Method Orange if they want to look to get aggressive on WizK.
Yeah. And this time, Mez and Trill are rotating their reverse magics to support Sea-Doo, but Peekaboo's doing a lot more damage in this situation. They do catch him behind the pillar. Peekaboo opts to trinket out, a 2-for-1, both aggressively and offensively, but gets denied with the Imprison. Sea-Doo actually trinketed there as well. That is an opening. There's so much damage from Peekaboo. I don't know what's going on here. He's doing a lot more damage than he was in the previous games. Sea-Doo forced to run away behind the wall there to recover. It looks like he'd be able to. Trill and Mez forced to switch back and push Peekaboo away. Mana still in favor of Sea-Doo, obviously. Another swap to Sea-Doo. Trill and Mez supporting him. Just crowd controlling Peekaboo anytime. Reverse magic. Nicely done there by Method Orange. It's looking good to extend this so far. They've made it halfway. Just a little bit longer.
Yeah, Mez and Trill, they can basically infinitely rotate that reverse magic on the silence. So WizK never gets a silence out unless they have cross crowd control on Mez and Trill, which we need to see the roots coming in from Absurge when they make these kill attempts. Peekaboo in a little bit of trouble as he moves forward. Trill and Mez have been doing a good job making sure that WizK and Peekaboo are both pressured in this situation. Absurge playing Counter-Strike Totem, so he dropped that, trying to get additional damage on Mez and Trill. But they've been killing it off relatively quickly, so really not able to capitalize with that talent choice.
Psychic Scream on Sea-Doo as the Gosu crew are trying to create an opening here on Mez. Mez trades out Blur, which reduces damage during that crowd control on his healer. That's a fair trade. Now Method Orange that have recovered. They're leading to get aggressive. Double stun on Peekaboo and WizK. No crowd control on Absurge just yet, so they should unlikely get a lot of momentum off the back of this. There's Fell Eruption. Those are the purple mana rifts. Looks like they landed at them, so now Absurge is down a lot of mana. Method Orange are over the halfway point. They're so close, they just need to stay alive a bit longer. Vendetta, they need to trade Darkness. Are they going to get in position? Yes, Mez this time was able to get in position and trade Darkness. Sea-Doo will now recover quite easily in this position. Method Orange playing, well actually no, I take that back. Look at reverse magic right now, Ven. You see the cooldown, 50 seconds for both Mez and Trill. And it's a mistake when you use them at the same time. And that was an opening that we saw potentially cost them the game last time. So let's see if the Gosu crew can take that opening.
Yeah, you can see though, Method Orange, they're using the mana rifts onto WizK over and over. They actually got his Dispersion there. They've already gotten his Trinket. His mana rifts are huge for doing damage as well. Could be in a little bit of trouble. There's a sap over onto Sea-Doo. Hex onto Trill. Mez could be vulnerable here. He has his Trinket, but nothing really else to work with. Sea-Doo always has the Trinket link available if they really, really need it, but Mez is able to hold on.
All right. Although they overlap their reverse magics, that crowd control chain just wasn't long enough with the self-sustainability of Demon Hunters to net them a kill on Mez. Now they're going to be going after Sea-Doo once again, as he is likely the target to go down in this matchup. He trades Earthen Wall, denying any sort of pressure in this situation. It's Absurge who's on the back foot, also trades his Earthen Wall, so both teams will take a bit of a pause here, as damage reduction is a bit too high for either team to net a kill. Fell Eruptions continue on Absurge as they look to keep burning his mana as quickly as possible. They're almost there. Dampening's about to start, and Absurge is almost tapped. So as Zico has been saying in the pregame, this is when they need to start switching their mana rifts onto WizK for extra damage and make it so that Absurge just can't recover.
Yeah, there's the stun on him. Double mana rift onto WizK. A lot of bursts coming in. And WizK actually does have mana, so when they aren't using these mana rifts on him, they're preventing his power word shields as well as some of his off heals if he ever needs to use them. So I like this from Method Orange, making sure they sort of limit the healing capabilities of both Absurge and WizK in this game as well. That's providing that extra damage onto WizK.
All right, dampening started. Absurge is tapped. Method Orange have been playing to their win conditions. Potential huge amount of burst here for WizK. No dispersion for 17 more seconds. Tons of damage. Another Fell Eruption life grip out of the mana rift. Nice play by WizK, but he's still low on health. Mez pulls the trigger on the Metamorphosis, gets Psychic Screamed on it. Good cross crowd control here by the Gosu crew, but Sea-Doo's in a perfect position. WizK can't attack him through that fence. He's trying to make his way over, but Sea-Doo line of sights him again. He needs a reverse magic. They duck in, they don't overlap. Nice play there by Trill. Sea-Doo now should recover. WizK is the one in trouble, dipping dangerously low. Absurge deflects with an Earthen Wall totem of his own, but it is looking worse and worse for the Gosu crew as dampening starts to ramp up.
Yeah, WizK has basically no mana at this point. Dispersion is available. Absurge's mana is not looking good. Mez and Trill all over him. There's a stun on Absurge. He trinkets out, wants to conserve as much mana as possible. C2 behind the pillar once again, caught into the kidney shot, but it's WizK that's in trouble. He can't push in right now. He gets interrupted. This is the first time we've seen WizK play a little bit scared. Shadow Priest normally very durable, but like I said, the double Demon Hunter might be able to punish.
Yeah, the Mana Rift doing percent health damage. Doesn't care about the Edge of Insanity. So it's doing tons of damage and putting WizK on the back foot. C2 caught in a blind, and he doesn't want to trinket because he's usually the target that dies. So he's sitting through a long crowd control chain, and it looks like Mez is fine with that. WizK's moving in position to continue the chain that much longer, but it's still unlikely that they kill through the soul rending healing. Unfortunate for Mez, his metamorphosis has ended. He doesn't have that soul rending. They've still got C2 locked in crowd control. If they can bait out a darkness before Vendetta, that would be perfect, but even with a 20+ second crowd control chain, Mez isn't even phased, and the Gosu crew's opportunities are starting to slip away.
Yeah, Absurge, Mana Rift once again gets gripped away there by WizK, preserving that last little bit of mana at 14% dampening. This is going to be difficult for him to heal through this damage much longer. WizK luckily has the dispersion back up once again. Peekaboo still just trying to create as much pressure as he can. Actually lands a kidney shot on Mez. Mez has to trinket. Overlapped, though, with the darkness of Trill, so a miscommunication there by Method Orange.
Yeah, now Mez can't trinket darkness himself, and Vendetta's up. They could easily kill Mez, and C2's been working all game to protect himself. He might not be in the frame of mind to be prepared to protect Mez after such a long series of him being the primary kill target. I think the Gosu crew are going to look to exploit that. They smoke bomb Mez. C2 moves in. He gets Psychic Scream, but he pre-tremored it. Nice play by C2, but he's still silenced, so he needs a reverse magic. He gets that from Trill to connect the Spirit Link Totem. That was the opening that Gosu crew needed to find a kill. They didn't get it. We're moving into deep dampening. Absurge has no mana. WizK's running out of cooldowns. The Gosu crew are running out of time. Method Orange are looking to close game 2.
Yeah, once this Earthen Shield Totem fades, the Gosu crew is going to be in a lot of trouble. Peekaboo vulnerable, WizK vulnerable as well. He has the Void Shift, but he gets interrupted. Still good pressure coming in from Trill and Mez. Look at C2's mana. It is basically completely full at this point of the game. Absurge has to trinket out, get out of that mana to preserve just a little mana. This is his Ascendance as well. The last little bit of healing he has for WizK. If he can keep him stable, they might be able to hold on just a little bit longer.
WizK trinkets out of the Mana Rift to dodge those purple circles to give his team any opportunity that he can, but I'm not sure how much longer they've got. C2 trinkets into a silence. Is that window going to be enough? They're stun locking Mez. They need a bit more. He's got darkness. He can easily trade that out. He's trying to hold on to it, going after WizK. WizK's got nothing. Absurge's caught in a stun. Needs that Spirit Link Totem likely very soon. Double stun by Method Orange. Absurge is playing greedy. He moves in. He's not going to risk it. Trades the Spirit Link, trying to give his team any opportunity to pull off a miracle. Triple Psychic Scream. Perfect setup. Is this the miracle or another day in the office? Lightning bolts from Absurge. Get the kill. And the Gosu crew now in the lead 2-0.
What? The Method was in both situations.
Oh my God.
Method crazy plays. Peekaboo managing to pull out crazy plays, and throughout all of it, Absurge just being able to weather the storm.
I mean, Absurge had no mana at the end of that game. Flame Shock isn't free. He spent the last spell he could have casted on Flame Shock, knowing that if they didn't kill C2 there, they lost anyway. So even casting Lightning Bolts, while WizK mind controlled the other opportunity to save C2. So Absurge was an MVP at the end of that last game, despite being behind for the entire match, being less favored as well. Method Orange did look good, though, I think, with the Moonkin Demon Hunter against the Super Frogs, so it's not the worst-case scenario. They get good pressure at the start of this match on WizK, and a nice Cyclone at low health. Method Orange are looking in a good position to start this game.
I think they've realized that Mana Rift is just super effective against the Shadow Priest. WizK's in a lot of trouble. There's a full Cyclone on Absurge. He's going to be able to tank out some of this damage. And here's one of the key differences we're seeing from the Gosu crew that we didn't see from the Super Frogs, is they have multiple pressure points in this matchup. Peekaboo, he's all over C2, but at the same time, he keeps his Rupture, he keeps his Garrote on Samayam. WizK's dots sort of rot him down. And that way they can do these blind setups where Samayam's already low. They can blind up C2 into a sap, and they can get pressure all over the place.
Peekaboo leaving an opening for his team, trinketing a Cyclone, a bit over-eager to try and kill C2. I don't think he was going to ultimately go down, so unless maybe they kill him in this kidney shot, if C2 underreacts, he's caught into the stuns. Trill pulls back to assist. Good teamwork. C2's going to survive. He's looking to retreat away. Doesn't want to be stacked up. Absurge Solar Beam. Nice combo by Method Orange. Clean setup. They're trying to punish that trinket on Peekaboo. First TM down below half, forcing Absterge to trinket. Method Orange's aggression this match has improved drastically, but they also need to survive amidst doing that. Sea-Doo pre-Earthen Shield Totems this kidney shot. Nice read. Sam-I-Am backs them up with a Cyclone. Method Orange are looking good in game 3.
Yeah, they definitely are, but you can tell Trill isn't looking for the mana rifts. Oh, there it is. Finally, mana rift over onto Absterge. His mana was just so high. Didn't seem like Trill had really landed too many, so that's maybe something he wants to focus up on moving forward. Good pressure on Peekaboo in the meantime, though. He's already used his evasion and his feint. Peekaboo could be in a lot of trouble here. Doesn't want to overextend. Runs back, puts a kidney shot onto Sam-I-Am, getting some pressure there, but freeing up Sea-Doo to get free cast out.
Huge hit on Sam. Nice mind control, low health. Shadow step kick on Sea-Doo. Peekaboo all over Method Orange as they're trying to swing some momentum in their favor. Multiple targets are low. Sea-Doo's trying to hold on to Ascendance. How much longer can he hold on to it? He's silenced at low health. Trill saves him with reverse magic, but now into a kidney shot. They switch their attention to another target with Sam-I-Am still rotting down to the pressure. Ascendance has been forced. Good combo here by Method Orange. Nice wind shear by Sea-Doo. Peekaboo's all alone. He burned that trinket aggressively, and it's costing his team a lot of close calls. Blind on Sea-Doo. He wants to hold on to that trinket. Doesn't want to get caught in the swap later on. There's the sap out of it. Good crowd control from the Gosu crew. Sam-I-Am's dipping low. He's got Renewal. It's going to bounce him back up into the fight. Absterge continues the chain, although unlikely to be long enough, I think, to take Sam-I-Am down. It looks like he's going to be recovering at this point. Peekaboo now the target once again. They need to work their way through that Cloak of Shadows and set up for that incarnation that Sam-I-Am has in 14 seconds.
Yeah, Sea-Doo hasn't had to use his trinket just yet in this game. I think it's smart that he's been saving it. He knows he's the most vulnerable one, so trinket and blind isn't the best trade. There's a kidney shot on Sea-Doo now as he gets bursted down. No Earthen Shield Totem available. Has the Spirit Link, has his trinket. He needs to be able to get away, but Peekaboo's still there. WizK as well. The entire team of Gosu crew is kind of dogpiling him while also taking down Sam-I-Am, but big swap now over on the Absterge. He trades out his Astral Shift, wants to get aggressive, doesn't want to fall behind. Peekaboo could be in some trouble. He has no defensive left. Sam-I-Am getting some pressure done with the incarnation, but it's Sea-Doo in the kidney shot. Peekaboo still trying to pressure him down in this situation. That might be the Spirit Link Totem from Sea-Doo.
We see a Solar Beam on Absterge, double stun by Trill, but Sea-Doo is the one who's on the back foot. The Gosu crew have so much momentum now in the mid-game with Sam-I-Am at half health and Sea-Doo at half health for the better part of a minute. And it's looking even more difficult for Sea-Doo to actually completely recover. He's really trying to abuse that Ghost Wolf, trying to get maximum value. Gets caught in a kidney shot in center field, in line of sight of WizK. They crowd control Trill to deny the reverse magic, forcing Trill to trinket. Now he can't trinket and use darkness. This is an opening that the Gosu crew, I can only imagine, see moving into the future.
Well, look at this. Sam-I-Am, no trinket, no bark skin. We have Peekaboo. He has Smoke Bomb and Vendetta. That is a kill window for the Gosu crew. They can get a nice CC chain on Sea-Doo. They can force his hand, force him to trinket, especially with how far Sam-I-Am is. Look at Peekaboo, he's moving forward. He realizes there's a kill window here. He gets a kidney shot on him, in travel for him with the Smoke Bomb. Trill trying to save his life. Sea-Doo trying to get there for the Spirit Link. Silence goes out. Is he going to be able to buy enough time with the bark skin and the bear form?
Mind control.
Nice mind control from WizK.
Sea-Doo's still crowd controlled. He's trying to be greedy now. He doesn't want a Spirit Link, but now they could switch to him with 2 targets low. It's looking dangerous for Method Orange here. Spirit Link connects to the team. The Gosu crew have so much more momentum in this game. Solar Beam stun attempt. Absterge trinkets to deny the kill. Grounds the Cyclone. Good utility by Absterge. He's trying to keep his team aggressive. Sea-Doo with no trinket. 12 more seconds on the immunity. They don't have it. Sea-Doo goes down. The Gosu crew put Method Orange on match point.
And now this is just about the worst situation you can be in if you're Method Orange, because you now take the entire thing.
The Gosu crew are on a storm right now, advancing heavily. I mean, Method Orange can't even take a game off them in a matchup that we would consider them favored. So Method Orange, they need a shot caller. They need someone on the team to take the responsibility of cooldown management. Otherwise, they have situations where they panic, they overlap, they make the wrong decision. So they need to just focus up, have that shot caller, make their way through to the late game, and they could easily reverse sweep this.
Yeah, nice fear coming in from WizK. He actually trinkets out very early on, gets a silence out on the Sea-Doo as well. Mez and Trill taking quite a bit of pressure, but I think they're going to be fine. There's the life grip from WizK to avoid some of those early mana rifts. Sea-Doo getting targeted down once again. Mez early darkness there, trying to prevent some of this incoming damage, as that was the Vendetta.
It's a fair trade because they can use a darkness on every Vendetta. Trill will use it on the next one. So that's the next shot call for that Vendetta window is Trill, get on Sea-Doo, use the darkness when Vendetta is available. There's going to be a bit of downtime in between that Sea-Doo needs to work with, using the Astral Shift or the Earthing Wall Totem to make his way through those cooldowns. So right now it's kind of up to Sea-Doo to keep his team going going during that downtime. Peekaboo is obviously not going to make that easy for him, trying to tunnel him down and aggress, trying to keep his pressure. WizK under a bit of fire here. Mez pulls back, though, to try and support, force Peekaboo away. He's managed to scare Peekaboo away for now. They silence Sea-Doo in a bit of a peculiar fashion. I almost think that was a bait for reverse magic, which actually has been dropped.
Yeah.
Mez and Troll are both not playing reverse magic, opting to get more damage, which may be what they need. There's a lot of pressure right now in their favor.
Yeah, Peekaboo really has to think twice before he overextends. There's a kidney shot on Mez. Fear on to Sea-Doo. No reverse magic available. Mez trinkets out. No darkness. Needs to be able to get over to Sea-Doo.
Need a tank trinket?
I think he actually is.
They're going all in on this long game strategy.
They've been running.
They have been.
Yeah,
okay.
they have been.
Next on Sea-Doo, silence. Mez is still in trouble. If they have to use darkness, okay, good shot calling there. Use Spear Link. They've got a game plan where darkness is used during Vendetta. So they use Spear Link in the in-between time. That was an example of good cooldown management and nice shot calling. If they keep this up, they're looking to be in a good position, but they punish Mez with no trinket, catching him out of line of sight. Mez jumps out of it, barely surviving as Sea-Doo desperately tries to recover.
Yeah, but look at Trill. He uses the darkness there to keep Mez alive, and now that's not lined up. Peekaboo found an opening. He has, in 16 seconds, a huge opportunity to take him down.
Sea-Doo trinketed. Now he's going to be under pressure potentially from Peekaboo. Now into his silence. Vendetta's coming up in 7 seconds. Full hacks. The Gosu crew are on a rampage against Method Orange here today. If Peekaboo gets on target, almost nothing standing between their victory. Mind controlling Mez back into midfield. Sea-Doo purges that off to get Mez desperately back on the pillar, but they earth grab him. The team synergy from the Gosu crew is perfect. There's the kidney shot. WizK moves in. He pre-tremors. I think he killed the tremor totem. Nice setup here. Trill desperation stun, but that's not enough. You cannot stop the Gosu crew. 4-0ing Method Orange.
And you know, just to take it a step further, we keep talking about how many all of the way to BlizzCon. You can see right here, all of those teams, the top 3 teams, based off of point qualifications, will be going all the way to the biggest tournament of the year. Yes, there is one more tournament, but it is mathematically impossible for the rejects, Casca's Angels, the Super Rejects, the Super Whales, anybody to catch up to our top dogs. And the Super Frogs this was the hill that they needed to get over, because now they have time to work on their compositions, and at BlizzCon, Ven, I think that they are going to be a threat.
Well,